Hail Kingdom! Today in Outer Worlds 2 I will show you insanely powerful melee build. As always without any spoilers, so let's respect our character and start building. When choosing your traits, there's a few good ones when you're playing melee. Of course it's brilliant, it's just a good one that gives you a little bit of head start with extra skill points. At the same time, lucky can be beneficial, but we're not scaling critical hit chance a lot, so lucky is not super important. And this will be kinda melee berserk build, so it will be full on aggression, run and hit build. But if you like a little bit of stealthy gameplay, there will be ways how you can introduce stealth in this build, so it will be a little bit flexible. Then Nimble is a nice trait also. It gives you crouch speed for stealthy gameplay. It can be also beneficial for us even if we're going into run and hit style of playing, because there's 25% combat sprint speed, so we will be roaming and bouncing around our enemies a lot faster. Or if you feel a little bit scared going into melee combat versus enemies, Resilient is your choice. Dash will be prevented for 3 seconds the first time you would have died each combat, so it's a nice trait also. However, if you pick 2 traits, then you need to pick 1 negative trait. This build is super specific and you don't care about a lot of skills. So picking Dump is actually smart. Now let's go to our skills. If you picked Dump, well, you need to ban different skills that you will never be able to use. That's where you need to decide what you actually will be using. If you know what you're doing, you can actually keep Hack, for example, if you like to use Hack as beat generation. But we're not using Hack for our build today, therefore we're banning it. Then Leadership is fine for melee builds, but we're going for actual like full-on aggression melee build. We don't care about our companions, therefore Leadership is banned also. We definitely don't need guns, we're going into full melee build, and we don't need explosives, so that's our most certain bans. To scale our damage we will be using Engineering, Melee, and then you can decide. You can actually pick Science, that will give you more stacks of non-physical damage type side effects. For example, when we mod our weapon and we inflict plasma damage, it will increase power of these plasma stacks. So that's nice damage amplificator. But also we can scale our damage pretty nicely with Speech. Speech will increase damage to humans, and there's lots of human enemies in the game. While Science is more all-around way to play, Speech is actually also pretty nice and will scale our damage greatly. Another one to ban is Observation. So yeah, you definitely can ban Observation if you want to keep a little bit of sneak in your gameplay, so it doesn't matter too much. Now, since we picked Brilliant trait, well, we can pick 3 skills to specialize in, and it will be Engineering, that will give us damage resistance for every point, and since we are in melee range, we will be targeted by enemies a lot, therefore again, it's pretty obvious we need damage resistance. At the same time, melee will give us damage, and last but not least, Medical. Medical will be used to heal ourselves and also give us a little bit of damage in combat. It's really important to stay healthy and stay powerful in combat, since we always in melee range, and we probably will be targeted by every enemy in the room all the time. Okay, now let's talk about equipment. You will get a bunch of equipment on your ship instantly, and in this room near workbench is a secret lever that you can use and unlock this gun. But we are playing melee build, so actually you don't care a lot. Now that we arrived into Paradise Island, let's talk about our build actually. Where we can get our head start, where we get our weapons, because when you begin you will start only with Stun Baton, and it's pretty okay-ish weapon. When you're comparing melee weapons, don't look only on damage, because if you check damage, for example, the Stun Baton will have 29 damage, and Deluxe Moonman Staff will have 62. Does it mean it's better? Well, there's also swing rate, and I don't know if there's any DPS in this game. Yeah, it actually is. You just need to press inspect, and that's where you will see DPS. So yeah, swing rate is important. While big weapons may have higher damage, they will attack slower, therefore DPS won't be a lot higher in a lot of cases. But here we are, we get our Stun Baton to start with, and as melee character you will just go in and attack. That's basically the play style. Don't forget you can press and hold button to do charged attack, but you need to hit directly at enemies. Don't miss them. So on normal difficulty, these guys take 2 hits with normal attack and just 1 powerful attack with heavy attack. That's pretty cool. Also, you may block with your weapon, and while you're blocking, you move slower, but you will take less damage, so it's pretty useful stuff. That's basically it. There's not a lot of super important tricks to know when you're playing melee. But correct allocation of skills and perks will significantly boost your survival abilities and damage. So that's why you need a build. So let's talk about build. You can actually favorite any perk, and they will be added to favorite list. So that's favorite list for this build. There's 18 perks right now, but you are limited to 15 perks throughout the game. You can get more. You actually can get with different flows, but you don't need all of them. And we will remove them right now. So that's basically the build, and let's talk about it. First of all, we get combination of Bullet Shield and Ninja. Bullet Shield will increase our health and damage resistance. Basically, it's our effective health points, it's our survival. However, Bullet Shield will have one flaw. Enemies will be more likely to target you over your companions. In my experience, even without Bullet Shield, enemies targeting me in a lot of cases when I'm playing melee, so it's just really useful perk. We're basically Berserk tank anyway. Then we get Ninja. Ninja will give you evasion chance in heavy armor and in light and medium armor. Basically every armor you will have, so if you're not naked, you will have better evasion. Again, it will increase your survival abilities, and it's just important for melee build. To increase our health even more, we will use Serial Killer, and we will take it as soon as possible at level 6, because it will require 3 or more total perks to be purchased. It's actually at level 8, I guess, because you will get perk points every 2 levels. So you want to pick it as fast as possible, and now every time you will kill humans, you will have abilities to actually get a little bit of maximum health. Throughout the game it will accumulate, and you will have insane amounts of health that will be multiplied by different armor pieces, bonuses to health and stuff like that. And this will be multiplied even more with Shrug It Off. It's more like mid-game-ish perk, because you can get it only after unlocking 8 total perks, and this will give you max health as temporary health at the beginning of the combat. Basically, you start the combat and you get 50% of your max health that is already increased, that is already a lot higher than it should be with this perk, and you will have just good time. So my actual recommendation is to get this perk as fast as possible without fighting humans, because you will get this extra max health by fighting humans. Basically try to play in this area at the beginning without coming into town, and you will be fine. Like this area over here will be mostly with raptors and crabs. Then we will increase our damage with engineering skill, as I told you, and we will increase it by applying modificators to our weapons. You will always have modified weapon in the game, that's what you want to have, and you will have plus 10 damage with modded weapons, increased by 2.5% per engineering skill point. And Master Armor, its late game-ish perk with maxed out engineering, will give you ability to have extra armoring mod slot. It will give you a lot better and a lot more powerful armors overall. Now, optional stuff. Commander and Shiny New Toy. So, Commander will give you additional weapon slot. Shiny New Toy will give you plus 20% damage for a little bit of time when you're swapping the weapons. No matter what, you will have 2 weapon slots, even without any additional mods on your helmet or without perks. But with this combination you will have 3 slots, and you can use this combination if you like to pick weapons best for situation. For example, when you're fighting creatures, you will have better damage with plasma guns, but when you're fighting automechs, they are immune to plasma guns and stuff like that. To electric damage actually, or to other damage types. Technically in this game there's different damage types, and some enemies can be immune to them, so you may pick best weapon for situation. And if you like to do it all the time, if you like to switch weapons all the time in the combat, well, this combination is for you. However, I will remove this, so I will unfavorite this combination. It's not super important, and we got 16 perks left over here right now, so we are almost ready. Pretty basic way to increase our damage is of course using melee skill. It will just increase our damage with melee weapons, so it's pretty straightforward. And we got different options over here. There's heavy-handed, melee powerful attacks knock down enemies, and will have cooldown of 10 seconds. It's pretty useful in combat to knock down your enemies, so it's really powerful perk to have. There's another version of it. If you like to hold your block a lot, then Duelist is your option. On perfect block you will stun target for 8 seconds, and it got no cooldown at all. However, I don't like blocking mechanic in terms of perfect block, so I don't like to time it with perfect blocks, therefore I'm not using it, and my choice is heavy-handed. It's really nice and pretty powerful way to crush your enemies. Then we get run and hitter. So it will be dependent on your playstyle. If you like to run around and hit enemies, then run and hitter will be good. If you mostly like moving slowly, if you're not pressing run button a lot, then it won't be really useful for you. And what it does, it gives you damage on your next hit with a weapon. It's 25 for one-handed weapons, 50% for two-handed weapon. How good is it? Well, it's pretty good. How important it is? Well, it's not very important, so we can actually remove it. Then we get equivalent blows. Melee attacks will deal small portion of damage in a large cone in front of you. With heavy melee weapons, with powerful two-handed weapons basically, you will deal 50% of weapon damage. And that's pretty good to fight multiple enemies at the same time, since most enemies will attack you. Well, that's a really important one. Again, it will be dependent on your playstyle a little bit, so if you're trying to lure enemies one by one, maybe you won't use it, but I like to use it, I like to have it. It's pretty good in some situations, not in every situation, but it's fine. Then we got Peach Tossball Hacker. Melee attacks will ignore a portion of target's armor. You can get it after 5 or more total perks purchased, and that's what you actually want to have, because it's a good way to deal versus armored enemies. There's a bunch of automechs, which is armored guys over here, and you will kinda skip a little bit of armor when attacking with a melee weapon. It's a really good way to never swap weapons and basically fight them with normal physical damage weapon. And we got Tit for Tat. You will heal for 25% of damage dealt, so it will give us survival basically. So that was all perks. Now let's talk about skills for these perks. Well, when you start gaming, I recommend to get just 1 point in Lockpick. This will give you ability to unlock Pickpocket from level 1. And that's our first perk, and that's basically how we generate most of our beats in the game. At the same time, when you're starting out, there's another really nice stuff to get you going and get you some loot is Treasure Hunter. For Treasure Hunter, you need at least 1 point in observation, and let's learn it also. I will show it right now with Pickpocket and Treasure Hunter, but it's not super important. Before I explain full skill points, let's talk about our perfect start in a city. So when you arrive, there will be a guy over here on the left side. Here he is, Hil Chaudhry, and you can speak with him and get quest, or you can completely ignore him and just go to the left side of the town. You will see a scarecrow over here, and this is one of the most important items for us to generate insane amount of wealth and actually get everything we want. This Battle Helm of Ptero Bane. You definitely don't want to use this helmet all the time, because as you can see, while it's looking pretty funny, well, game doesn't look pretty funny when you're using this helmet, but we will need it later. So the first quest I was referring for that we can take is located over here. If you already leveled a little bit of engineering, you can actually repair this platform, or you can just go upwards and just make a few jumps over here on the green hills, and you will arrive on top. There will be a guy who learning how to fly. I would say not very successful, but that's fine. From him I will pick up Bale, and it will basically give me ability to double jump. But most importantly, in this location we will find another weapon. Near this platform, inside the house, that's Trip Blade. And technically we can start playing just like that. It got insanely high DPS for just a starting weapon, without any mods. You can finish quest by going upwards and saving these guys. Not necessary for build though, but since we picked brilliant trait, we can actually regulate platform, and it will give us a lot more bits than we normally would have. 1000 bits, pretty good. Now, why I like Pickpocket? Basically, when you crouch behind enemies, you can start pocketing them. It will take a little bit of time, and stealing in this game is not technically a crime. So I will steal this ring, it can be sold for a little bit of money. However, when there's loads of enemies or even just NPCs around that see us, we can't steal without lowering reputation, and then we probably will be attacked by guys. Maybe even attacked on sight. So it's not a great idea to steal or pickpocket everyone all the time. You just need to make sure no one sees you. After arriving into the first town, you will see two guys, and you need to side with one of them. And while it affects how story goes, actually we're interested in pickpocketing those two guys, because they will have not only bits but also private locker keys. In some cases, For example, with this lady, I can't pickpocket her because she's standing with her back to the wall. But that's where our trick comes into play. We will use this helmet, and after moving a little bit, we will get this little icon on the bottom. So technically this helmet makes you completely invisible to enemies after you moved a little bit and you're standing still. So when you're not moving, well, you're not detected. Even by standing in front of her, I can just go into pickpocket mode and steal everything. We're interested in war chest key, of course. And war chest will be located right behind this building where we just stole a key. So it will be located over here in this green bus or something like this. Here it is, war chest, with loads of bits and other crafting materials. But we're mostly important in this lady standing near this big ship. Loads of guys wandering around, so having this helmet also helps if you want to steal something, but we're interested in this armor. This armor comes with cost cut materials. You will have damage resistance at the start of the combat. Very powerful armor to start. It will cost a little bit of bits, I mean quite a bit, but I haven't sold anything yet and got enough bits already by doing this start. For helmet you can get like any helmet you like. Now let's talk about our weapon. By coming into this vendor machines you can have some mods. You will find some mods when you're just running around, and just look for mods for your weapon. When you're looking for mods, you need to check what mods you have. Our 3-blade got grip and attack mod right now is available. So this one will be grip mod, this will be attack mod based on this little icon, and it will be based on your preference again. If you like blocking a lot in combat, then 3-blade defense grip is really nice for increasing damage resistance against all sources while blocking. I don't like to block a lot, therefore I'm going for 3-blade utility grip. It gives critical hit chance and critical hit damage. Very powerful stuff. Just by buying those mods you can use workbench, go into mod section and apply these mods, just like that. Attack mode will give us ability to apply bleed on hit, dealing damage over time to human and creatures, but decreasing base damage. Base damage decreased by not a lot, so I like this mod also. And honestly, for helmet you can use any helmet you like. As I told you again, you're looking for health mostly and that's it. But with this build you can go into this building over here on the left side from the starting location in town. And in the corner you will find police officer hat, which looks cool and also gives critical hit chance and critical damage. That's our basic super powerful start in terms of weapons, gear and overall game quality. Ability to steal anything in front of enemy noses is really great. You can get like any item you need, you can pickpocket everyone, so you can get like secret keys before you even understand that you need them and stuff like that. Now let's talk about our skills finally, how we go through the game, how we max out our build, and show you this in action. Again, basic against basic first enemies. So, leveling melee is really important. Therefore, every level I recommend to invest at least 1 point in melee or even like few points at the start of the game. However, having extra stuff like medical engineering is also important to unlock perks when we need them. And if you take a look at skills, we actually don't need melee higher than 10. So our starting skills will be pickpocket or treasure hunter or both if you like some utility and ability to gain bits. Then you go for bullet shield for resistance and health. And then you decide, do you want this serial killer? So serial killer which gives you 2 max health per heart collected. As I told you, it's really good for this build, therefore you will be forced to actually pick Psychopath. So if you picked both Pickpocket and Treasure Hunter, then instead of Bullet Shield, you want to go for Psychopaths. It will increase damage against factions if you have bad relationship with them. You don't actually want to have bad relationship, but you want this all game long maximum health increasement. At this point, you want to already have at least 5 points in engineering and around 10 points in melee. And this will set you up for basically all game. 5 points in engineering will increase damage with modded weapons. 10 points in melee will give you ability to get all perks needed for melee gameplay. I really like to have this Tossball Hacker, again to fight mech enemies, and Tit for Tat for survival, as well as Shrug It Off and Ninja. This will leave us with just 5 points available, therefore again I will go for Farm Enthusiast and I need to make sure I got Medical at least at 5 to get Inhaler Overload. With Medical at 8 we will unlock Crash Recovery, but don't rush for it, just slowly level up Medical. I would go with something like 1 level goes into melee and engineering, then 1 goes into melee and medical, and next one goes into engineering and medical, next one into melee engineering, and so on and so on. Just slowly leveling up everything bit by bit. After around 12 points in melee, actually I would max out engineering as fast as possible from this situation. This will unlock Master Armorer, but to unlock Master Armorer you need Makeshift Armorer. This will be our combination if you want better survival, and that's actually what I went in my playthrough. But I missed Treasure Hunter over there, so I played without Treasure Hunter and finished with Space Ranger. Another option is to completely forget about this and go for Echoing Blows and Heavy-Handed for better melee gameplay, or if you want to max out your damage even more, you can go for Space Ranger, and after maxing out melee, you will have around 14 points left. They can be spent in speech to increase damage to humans, and with Space Ranger it will increase your overall damage. Another way to play is to actually max out Lockpick at around 15 points, so you're not maxing out it, but you're getting like enough points, because it will give you 15% evasion chance. With our like overall combination, it's a pretty solid choice. So Makeshift Armorer and Master Armorer will give you ability to use 2 armoring slots. After you craft something, you will have better armor, better survival. With all the perks, you will have nice evasion chance. And that's our like final build. It's a pretty good one. I would pick Treasure Hunter, since we don't need to craft like a lot when we're playing without bullets, and get Echoing Blows. I like this extra damage in front of us, hitting multiple enemies. But again, it's RPG, it's up to you, it doesn't matter too much. This will give you a pretty solid foundation. Now let's see the scraps. So we enter a combat with big heavy attack, and this attack will basically defeat these guys in like few hits, especially with critical strike. You can check my health, and we got a lot of extra health, so even if they attack me, well, they need to hit me. I can evade loads of these attacks, I got insane protection from these attacks. So it's nice tanky build, but at the same time we can use and called Inhaler to increase our damage even more and increase our speed. That was not even heavy attack, and that's how really big Berserker crushing style will look like. And it's pretty cool, pretty fun. You can use it with any melee weapon, you're not actually limited to big two-handed ones. If you like fast one-hitting one-handed builds, well, just go with Baton. Go into Crush mode, and in Crush mode, as you know, you will also replenish health over time, bit by bit, which is also percentage based. Right now I got 1.7k and 16 health, but as you may remember, we can do stuff like that and actually hunt enemies and also troops from factions. Guess what? I got more health right now, yeah, because we are collecting hearts. So when you do this, well, you collect your hearts, and that's really powerful stuff. Over the course of the game, we will accumulate loads of max health, and you can actually like finish the town and break your relationship with some factions that you don't like, completely obliterating them. It's not a problem, and oh my goodness, it's so easy to get loads of max health over the course of the game. So that's the build. I hope you enjoyed the build actually, and you'll have blast playing it in Outer Worlds 2. Make sure to watch other builds on the screen right now, and see you in the next ones.